Between Valve's Steam Deck and a Nintendo Switch, on-the-go gaming is having a renaissance of sorts. And luckily for PlayStation fans, Sony's divisive foray into the field of modern handheld consoles is looking pretty promising.
Give it to me! Give it to me now!
Sony's Project Q has faced a bit of an uphill battle ever since fans first heard about it. But that doesn't seem to have slowed Sony down one bit. The company has just posted 2 detailed blogs digging into the handheld device's features, as well as its true name and what fans can expect to pay for it. On top of that, some industry pros have had a chance to check out the device for themselves. Word of Sony's newest portable gaming device started to leak earlier this year, prompting the video game giant to officially announce it without a name or any pricing information. What fans did learn, however, is that Project Q was not the successor to the PS Vita that many had hoped. Instead, the odd-looking handheld will function as a remote play-adjacent device, allowing players to stream games from their PlayStation 5 console.
Later this year, we will launch a dedicated device that enables you to stream any game from your PS5 console using remote play over Wi-Fi.
Almost immediately after the official announcement of Project Q, fans began jeering at the very concept. Some were disappointed that this wasn't a true dedicated handheld gaming device, as Project Q requires a stable internet connection and the ownership of a PlayStation 5 before it can be properly enjoyed. Others took issue with the product's design. Overall, Project Q did not get the warm reception that Sony probably had hoped for. Even so, the company has continued development of the quirky device and revealed today that its official name is a PlayStation Portal.
Now you're thinking with portals.
The newly christened PlayStation Portal was properly unveiled in a blog post from Sony Interactive Entertainment's Senior Vice President of Platform Experience, Hideaki Nishino. Here, Nishino proudly touted the new system as the company's first remote play dedicated device. He also noted, PlayStation Portal is a perfect device for gamers in households where they might need to share their living room TV or simply want to play PS5 games in another room of the house. Regardless of how fans may feel about this concept, it seems to be something Sony is very proud to have accomplished. A separate blog post from Tim Turi, Sony Interactive Entertainment's content communications manager, describes the experience of going hands-on with the PlayStation Portal. Although this review comes from someone in the Sony camp, the description is still enticing, particularly when it comes to how responsive the system apparently is. He said, "During my demo with the PlayStation Portal remote player, I was impressed by the responsive and smooth gameplay from the very first second. Precision platforming felt tight and responsive in Astro's Playroom, as did landing critical shots and dodging enemy projectiles in Returnal. For any players who are concerned about input latency, particularly when playing fast-paced shooters like Apex Legends or the aforementioned Returnal, this is great news." Other graphically intense games such as God of War Ragnarok also apparently looked great on the screen.
Today, we will be better.
The high-definition screen also doesn't disappoint, according to IGN's Bo Moore, who also went hands-on with the device. From dark horror environments to whimsical fantasy lands, it sounds like the PlayStation Portal's display is up to the task. The controllers are also a bit more detailed than they first appeared, featuring volume controls and other extras on the sides. Sean Booker of CNET was similarly pleased with the new device's versatility. However, Sony has confirmed a few other things about the system that fans may not be quite as excited to learn. Shockingly, the PlayStation Portal is not compatible with Bluetooth technology. You can either use wired headphones with the PlayStation Portal, or else pair your wireless headphones with your PS5 or home sound system. And perhaps most perplexing of all, particularly for a remote-based device, you cannot stream any of PlayStation Premium's cloud-based games on the device. The PlayStation Portal retails for $200, Nishino revealed. Depending on how you feel about the device's specs, this price is either a steal or an absolute death knell to a product about which many were already on the fence. The handheld still doesn't have an official release date, but it's expected to arrive later this year.